Welcome, everyone. It is Sunday, March 24th, 2024. It is a beautiful, sunny, freezing day here in Western Massachusetts. And this is the Morgellons Call of the Week. I am Robin, the co-host. So glad to be here. It's so great to have a place that I can count on every week for support, answers, friendship, people who understand Morgellons, and it's here for all of us on the call. It's very exciting to be part of a community that gives back and supports one another, and that's so rare if you're dealing with Morgellons, because the medical profession doesn't understand it. If they think it's real, they still don't know how to treat it 9 times out of 10. And your loved ones, your friends, your neighbors, they might just think you're crazy. They might try to get you institutionalized. It's a very isolating and disturbing disease. But we have a wonderful community here with a support network. We have coaching. We have Richard's book. We have Richard. How you can't get much better than that. The author of How to Get Your Life Back from Morgellons and Other Skin Parasites and Lyme Disease. He has written, he's in his 13th edition of the book, and, he has come up with, it's like an encyclopedia of solutions, things that you can do to get your life back. And if one thing doesn't work, you go to the next level and the next thing. It's filled with solutions. And the thing that's the foundation of it all is the diet. That is just incredible. We don't know why it works, but it works. That's what's really important. And, Richard never stops researching. He cares deeply about people. He's patient and kind, and he has a lot of wisdom, experience, and knowledge to impart. And he's more than willing to do that. He's here every week. He answers questions. You can email him, as long as it's not like emailing him a book. You can email him simple questions that he can answer. And, he cares. He's been through it. It's not head knowledge. It's experiential. And he discovered these solutions through his own experience. So I'm really grateful to be here and be part of this community and this call. And at this time, I'd like to welcome Richard Kuhns, author of How to Get Your Life Back from Morgellons and Other Skin Parasites. You're muted, Richard.
Thank you, Robin. It's a pleasure to be here every Sunday. How are you doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good. It's freezing here, but I'm okay.
Yeah, the daffodils were out, and I started wearing shorts. They lied.
They lied.
Anyway, today's topic is at the request of one of the people who has watched many of our YouTube videos. Her name is Marie, and she requested the topic of dealing with, how to disinfect your environment, how to do that. So let me summarize. First, to beat these organisms, and they are organisms, millions of them, maybe billions, in your environment at this point, not only in your environment, but in your body. And you are a walking, talking, parasite breathing machine. So wherever you go, they drop from your body or jump off of your body, or filaments, are shed from your body. You're a shedding machine. Mm-hmm. And so you may have brought them in your home from, perhaps sitting in a salon, or a doctor's office, or an airplane seat, or outside gardening, or pulling a vine out of a tree, like my situation was. And not knowing what you're dealing with, within a few days you're itching, and you basically do whatever you can. Maybe you've got some calamine lotion or some other stuff, and then you end up going to the drugstore and seeing what they got there, and you're thinking about lice, and you get nicks, and you get rid, and that kind of stuff, and getting a little more serious, and you end up going to the doctor, and the doctor, he doesn't really know what to do. You're lucky if he doesn't call you delusional and tell you it's in your imagination. By then, maybe a couple of weeks have passed by, or even much longer, and you have at that point contaminated your whole home, wherever you've been, wherever you sleep, wherever you walk and spend any amount of time. They have been deposited, and they are there. And the next time you go back in that vicinity, you'll get reinfected by them. But as long as until you get rid of them, you won't know that you're being reinfected. It just continues to be more of the same misery wherever you go. So they're in your automobile, they're in your office, they're in your warehouse, wherever you work. That's where they've been dropped and deposited, and it's like a bank account. You can get them back anytime you go in that area. So there are four main goals in getting your life back with my program. Number one is to make the diet work. When you make the diet work, I don't know how or why, but it seems that you stop being a walking, talking, breathing machine. That's good. Now, the itching and the symptoms can disappear dramatically within hours. It can be that fast. Or in Robin's case, she was a slow learner. It took her 3 months. and I'm not criticizing her. The good news is that she made it work. And many people take months instead of just a few days like it did for me. But even when the diet is working, if you have not eradicated them or been working on eradicating them from your environment, when you go back, you're going to feel the symptoms again. And you won't really know necessarily if the diet is working or not. So you go sit on your couch and you start itching, and you're thinking, well, the diet's not working, I shouldn't be itching. But wait a minute, maybe they're in the couch. So there are basically four things to do. One, make the diet work. Two, clean your environment of them. Three, clean your skin of them. Some people, depending on how long they've had these organisms, they have layers and layers of skin that has been destroyed and needs to be cleaned away and the organisms cleaned out. Others, not so much, if they're relatively new to the situation. And then the fourth is to build health and immune functioning, utilizing targeted supplements, all of which are in our store. But before you jump to number four, it's good to go to number four and start building health, but you're not going to notice much difference until you make the diet work, you get them out of your environment, and you clean them out of your skin. Now, cleaning them out of your environment, there are several things that you can use. What worked for me in the beginning was ammonia. Just spray bottle of ammonia. You don't use this in an electrostatic sprayer, never ever. Now, alternatives to that I've learned since that, well, I also used diatomaceous earth back then as well, spreading it or spraying it. You can spray it too. Then along comes Garden Safe Fungicide 3 that Robin introduced us to. You can pick it up at a hardware store or Lowe's or garden supply store, and you can spray that. And number 3 is our Clean 'em Up Zymes. They're enzymes, live organisms that will take care of these organisms as well. So you have choices. And then if for some reason these are not as effective as you'd like them to be, or they are ineffectual, then you can up your game and go to the electrostatic sprayer. So everything I've said so far you can use with a regular spray gun that you pick up at Home Depot or dollar store, and an empty spray bottle. The electrostatic sprayer has an advantage in that it is a fogger, as well as puts electronic charges on the mist that comes out. So it's far more effective than fogging. Fogging is generally a waste of time and money because it doesn't get everywhere, whereas the electrostatic sprayer, if you spray the front of a doorknob, if you check behind the doorknob, it'll be wet. If you're using a fogging apparatus, I doubt that that's going to happen. It's just not going to get the back of the doorknob. So that's the advantage. Now, there are other things that you can use. You can use, we have a chemical disinfectant, Metaclean, in the store, and we have an organic disinfectant called Benefect. But these are the different things in the apparatus that you can use, and some people also use ozone. Ozone is far more cumbersome and takes a long time, and so I'm not really going to get into ozone today. It's written in the book, and you can look it up and use it if you want to. So let's go back to basically disinfecting your environment, starting with, say, either spraying enzymes. The finer the mist, the better. That's my experience. So you get up in the morning, and the first thing you want to do is you want to take that bath. But before you jump in the tub, you want to make sure the clothes that you put on are disinfected and are ready to go. So you might spray those clothes if you haven't freshly laundered them and stored them and know that they're totally disinfected. But so you might want to invert them and spray them with ammonia, and then turn them right side out and let them sit while you're taking your bath. Now, ammonia works with the fumes. So the fumes are what destroys the organisms. Now, if instead you're using clean 'em up zymes, there's no fumes involved. This is the actual liquid that's destroying the organism. So you need to make sure that all the areas that you want disinfected are contacted by the spray. So keep that in mind. So the idea is now you jump in the tub. Well, you step in the tub. I don't want anybody jumping in the tub. And you take your bath for 45 minutes with a, that's another topic, a cap full of 100% NG and your favorite disinfectant, whatever is you figure out that works for you. You get out, you go in the shower, you shower off using one of our bar soaps, and then in the beginning you might be blotting dry with paper towels and disposing them. You then may be applying some Super MS M gel or some skin lotion or some oils or Claudia's Dream Cream, whatever you like and works best for you. And then you put on your clothes, and you're going to be going and making breakfast. Now, the other thing too is that if you're in the bathroom, these organisms love being around toilets and love being under underneath the cabinets at the bottom. There's a foot recess. They like that area too. They like being in the drains themselves. So let's go back. You say you might actually want to make this list up. Otherwise, you'll forget, just like I have just forgotten. So as I'm spraying my clothing, preparing it, I want to spray around the toilet. I want to spray the toilet, the seat itself. I want to spray that footrest, that area under the. I want to spray the sink as well. and anywhere else in the bathroom, and even the shower. I want to spray that as well, to have that all ready for me when I get out of the bathtub. And then after I get dressed and go to make breakfast, I want to make sure that I've given myself time. So if you're wearing a house coat before you get dressed, you're going to want to do that house coat before you put on your clothes, before you treat the clothes. And you want to spray the kitchen area, spray the area, again, around the cabinets or in the sink, where you sit, at the chair, under the chair, around the chair, everywhere. So that's going to be ready for you when you have your breakfast. And then before you go get in the car, you want to go spray the car. And, I'm talking about using ammonia, and the reason we're leaving a few minutes is for it to dry and the smell to evaporate. If you're using the enzymes, well, it doesn't matter. You can sit in a wet seat if you want, that's all right. But it's going to take some time to evaporate, but you don't have to give it 20 minutes for it to evaporate. So you need to be thinking ahead of these organisms. You get to your office, maybe when you get to your office, you want to go in and spray where you sit, spray around underneath your desk, and maybe even areas around your desk where there might be activity. Of course, this is a lot easier with electrostatic sprayer. You're talking a very fine fog. You're talking 2 seconds, and the job is done. It's quick. It's fast. So while you spray, and then you may go into the where you work, they have coffee or whatever. You may go get your coffee or whatever, and by the time you get back, your area will be void of ammonia fumes or dried. So you always want to be thinking ahead. And if you've worn a coat to work, as soon as you take that coat off, you want to treat it. You want to invert it and spray it. And again, before you leave work that day, you want to spray the air you inhabited under the. Now, this is what I did. And then 20 minutes before you put your coat on, you want to spray your coat, invert it, and spray it again. You want to go out and you do your car before you get in your car again. You always need to be thinking ahead where you're going to be 20 minutes from now and making sure that area is going to be prepared for you. That's how I did it. So, Robin, how did you do it?
How did I do? Yeah, I did what you just described.
You did it that way, that detailed?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, and I still do it, not all the time. I don't, I think I have, what do you call it, PTSD from Morgellons. So I probably am doing things I don't necessarily need to anymore, but it makes me feel better.
Yeah, well, your bases are covered. It's a job. It's a job, getting your life back, and that's why we're here every Sunday. We know it's not an easy thing because you've got millions of organisms you need to eradicate. First of all, you've got to stop multiplying them and breeding them, and then you've got to get them out of your environment, and that is a challenge. It can be a real challenge. So. And the thing to remember is that once you are totally free and you feel nothing, you wake up in the morning, you feel nothing, you feel nothing, you get dressed, you feel nothing. Wow. Don't think that they're gone, because there may be eggs around that could take a while, and we're dealing with certain mites up to 21 days that you want to keep doing this, because you don't want to give them an opportunity to come back. You really don't. So you can never be overcautious. Just think about all the years you've already suffered. What's another 21 days?
Right.
Okay? Now, for me, the organisms that I've dealt with, it's like 4 days. Like, I can feel nothing for 4 days, and on the 4th day, boom, I feel them again. It takes that long for the ones that I deal with to hatch. So just because you get to a point where you feel nothing, you don't hold a party yet. You still keep thinking ahead and where these things might be and where they may be reactivating 4 days or 20 days from now. Is Sherry on the call? Do a *6, Sherry. Are you on the call? Or Sharon? Or Mary? Any of you guys on the call? Do a *6 and share. Hi.
Sharon, I am on the call. I did want to add one thing that I do, and I know it was mentioned at the beginning when I first started about 6 months ago. You also want to make sure that you mop your floor. Now, I mop mine because I do have OCD. So I actually mop my floor with ammonia at least every other day. So you want to make sure that you get in those crevices on your floor as well as spraying because they're everywhere. Mm-hmm. Everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. So is that pretty much how you did it too? You thought ahead, you got ahead, you treated your clothing and your places you were going before you got there?
Absolutely. And I make sure that I do my bed at least twice a day. And all of those things you said, I do those twice a day. I do them when I get up. I do them before I go to bed.
Right, absolutely. Just doing them after you get up isn't sufficient. You got to do it before you go to bed too, 20 minutes before you go to bed. Absolutely. So, yeah. Sherry, are you on the call? Or Mary? Well, anyway, that is a job. We don't mean to make it sound easy. It isn't. It's a challenge. It's a job. And you know what's very discouraging is that when you're doing everything right and you're making the diet work and you're disinfecting and you wake up in the morning and you feel perfectly fine and you haven't eaten a thing, and then you start feeling minimal activity and you went, what the hell is this from? You know, that is not out of the ordinary. And sometimes it takes a while to figure out what it is that is contributing to this. That's when you might want to go reach for a parasite stop herbal formula. And that's a good thing to include as well, is to take that before you go to bed, take it when you get up, and take it maybe 2 or 3 times during the day to help smooth things out. And as you get more and more confident in your ability to remain symptom-free, and you cut back to 3 a day, then to 2 a day, 1 a day. And, you know, and we talked about the Parasite Stop herbal formula. It has so many other benefits as well, tremendous many. So some people continue taking it for the other benefits that it provides health-wise. Okay, you have anything to add to the to this segment, Robin?
No, I just want to reiterate that it's really important to wash the floors, especially if you have wood floors, because they can burrow into the wood, and it takes a very aggressive attitude to get them out.
Yeah, we talked about that thing a little bit, I think last week, and I'll mention it briefly because I got another email from someone during the week, and she said, "Gosh, the ones I have, they dig holes in my countertop." You know, and we've mentioned that before. And with these organisms, what we talked about here is not going to cut it. You know, these are extraordinary organisms. Apparently, they secrete some kind of acid or some kind of enzyme that's capable of eating through tin cans and countertops and things like that. And for these organisms, then we reserve red cedar oil to rub the surfaces down with red cedar oil, or Mary, who is our breeding coach before Sharon, has come up with a lot of traps. And you set traps. You take a plate and you put some, I forget exactly what it is. Do you remember what's in the traps?
I'm here.
Oh, hi, Mary. So tell us about the traps.
Well, the traps are pretty simple. I find that all these organisms are attracted to dry cat food. And so I will use dry cat food around the edge of a plate and then put a bowl on the plate and fill it with either bleach or ammonia, not both, because you want to live. You don't want to kill them.
You want to.
And sit that out. I've also will sit out pans of ammonia with peppermint in them, or pans of just diatomaceous earth. And I find that if you can use things that are white, they're really, really, really attracted to white. And they're called snow fleas, and I guess that's part of why they come up to the surface of the snow, is because they're so attracted to the white.
Interesting. So you just take a pan and you put some cat food or dog food around the perimeter, and in the middle of the pan you put what, a bowl?
Yeah, I'll put a bowl if I have. I prefer things that are really like low, just don't have high sides on it, so they can get into it easier.
But they will go actually into the bleach and into the ammonia?
Yeah, they'll jump into it. I tried to
really?
white to encourage them, but they go after that cat food. My cat food, it's so full of organisms that on a regular basis, I will take one of the I can't think of the name of it. The pills from Dr. Luna, the mite.
Yeah, Nitemperam, right?
Yep, and I'll sprinkle that into the cat food to try and keep the number of organisms down that's in the dry cat food, and it works.
Wow. So,
yep.
Okay, and then you could just set out a bowl with some diatomaceous earth, and that'll work as well?
Yeah.
Do you put cat food around it, or just put a bowl out of diatomaceous earth?
Just set a bowl out with diatomaceous earth. Again, the white, they're attracted to the white. Anything you have that's white, or like water bottles, that clear, shiny plastic, they're really attracted to that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. And you put these in a refrigerator in the freezer as well, right?
Yep. And I will do for the freezer. For the refrigerator, I just leave it in there. But for the freezer, I will rotate out the bowls and the plate of cat food, have two, so that when the ammonia or freezes or the bleach freezes, then I'll pull that one out and put a fresh one in, and I just keep rotating through the day.
I see.
And that takes care of them. I mean, it really knocks them back. At first, I had to do it for a couple days in a row, and then every once in a while they'll get in there again. I guess they hop on the groceries that I'm putting into the freezer, but it takes care of them right away.
So how often do you now continue doing that?
I only do it when I hear them bouncing around in there, which is not.
Okay.
I mean, it's not even once a month.
I see.
It's just rarely. But I also wanted to make a comment about spraying ammonia. One thing I've learned about ammonia is that you don't want to spray anything with ammonia that is plastic, because ammonia will break down the plastic, and that includes the interior of your car. Like if you have a leather interior, it's not healthy. It takes like a year and a half, but it will break down. So with the ammonia, I mean, it's great on clothes and clothing and furniture and rugs and various other materials, but not plastic.
Okay, so that would go for like a leather couch as well, wouldn't it? Or not? No, how?
You can use cedar oil on leather and the plastic in your car.
Yeah.
Really well.
Right.
And I also put diatomaceous earth in the carpeting in the car. And that stops them from jumping up on your legs when you're driving, especially in the summer.
Good. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, well, that concludes this portion of the program.
Welcome, everyone. It is Sunday, March 24th, 2024. Beautiful, freezing, sunny day in Western Mass. This is the Morgellons Call of the Week. I am Robin, the co-host, here with Richard Kuhns, author of How to Get Your Life Back from Morgellons and Other Skin Parasites. We just had a deep dive into disinfecting your environment, and it was really good. And so now we're opening up to the Q&A section of our call.
Good afternoon, everybody. Chris, do we have anybody who likes to ask a question?
Yeah, Sharon. You can.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. This question is for Robin. Since we're talking about disinfecting, we did not mention the menthol crystals. I know it was mentioned last week, but I'm sure we have some new callers on the line. If you could kind of briefly go through the menthol crystals and how they clean, what we can do with those for cleaning. And then, Richard, for you, since we're talking about cleaning, I think it's important to also mention about cleaning our clothing and doing our laundry. I had to reiterate that this week myself, one of the people I was coaching. So it's very important, if you're still experiencing some things and you've done everything in your environment, perhaps you need to go back and look at how you're cleaning your clothing. And that would be
that's a very good point, and I forgot to point that out in the beginning, that the first part of this program was basically about disinfecting the environment and what you're wearing daily, but there are lengthy protocols in the book on how to disinfect your laundry and what to do, which we didn't get into. And likewise, as you mentioned here, the use of menthol crystals, we didn't get into that as well either. I even forgot to say, when you come back home and you take off your shoes, you disinfect your shoes too, and you do the inside and the outside. It's all quite extensive. So she has a question there for you, Robin. Want to go ahead and answer that?
So menthol crystals, they're similar to ammonia in that they give off fumes, and the fumes are toxic. You can, they have little these heat things that you put like wax in, and it fills the air with pleasant scents. But you can use them with menthol crystals as long as you're leaving the house, because it can be very strong. But that's one way to do it. But you buy these little like wedding gift sachets, and then you fill them maybe halfway with menthol crystals. You can put them inside drawers, inside your shoes. I put them in my car and cupboards with clothes that I'm not going to wear a while. If I'm storing like winter or summer clothes, I'll use those. And they're really helpful in keeping. I put one in my purse. It keeps them away. They really hate menthol. So I think that's about what I said last
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So and definitely go to the book. Chapter 3 is all about this. Everything we talked about here is in chapter 3. So thank you, Sharon. Who has the next question?
Lisa, 4831.
Hi, Lisa. Hello, Lisa. Who is next?
Debbie from Texas.
Hi, Debbie. Hello?
You could go, Lynn.
Hello?
Don't forget to *6.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay, awesome. I have a question for you, Richard, Robin, about the triple pesticides. I'm having a real problem getting these boogers out of the environment. And So I've used the enzymes, I've used yours, I've used others in the electrostatic sprayer, and now I've been ozoning. So I have a 36,000 megahertz ozone, and I've been doing that for a whole month every day.
For how long?
And I've been using it for over a month every day.
But how long every day?
I want to interrupt.
I've been doing it for an hour.
Okay.
Can I interrupt?
Sure.
First of all, a month isn't that long. And second of all, I don't think ozone is great. It will kill anything that can breathe, but an hour isn't long enough. And I think it works best when combined with like flea bombing and the triple pesticide and then ozoning. If you really want it to be
right.
So, and I know Richard doesn't totally agree with me on this. He says do it for like a short time and then wait and then another short time. When I ozone, I do it for 2 hours at a time. It's because if you ozone for 1 hour, it just pushes them into another space. But if 2 hours, it kills things. And if it's a big enough space, it's not going to hurt electronics. It's not going to hurt anything. I wouldn't do that in your car. But I have done that for a couple of years in my home with no ill effects. And it doesn't work well by itself. So what I did when things were really bad is I would flea bomb in every room. I would leave the house, obviously. Then I would wait for that air to clear, and then I would ozone for 2 hours. No, then I would spray with the triple pesticide, wearing a mask, and then I would ozone for 2 hours, leave again, wait for that to clear, and then air out the house with fans and open windows. And I did that every day for 2 years.
Well, unfortunately, I have to go to work, and so I've been ozoning, like I'll turn it on in the morning. There's a couple of days I did, it only goes up to, I believe, 120 minutes. So
that's 2 hours. That's 2 hours.
Yeah, I can do, and then I'm at work for 8 hours.
Yeah,
so
but if you can spray with something before and then turn on the ozone when you leave for 2 hours, that would be much better than just the ozone for an hour.
Right. Well, today I was.
How long have you been dealing with these parasites?
Well, I moved in January, and I had them. This is how I got infected in November of last year. I got infected in my old apartment. And so I moved to this apartment in January, thinking that they weren't here. And by the time I realized towards the end of January that they were here, this place was infested too.
Right. So, I mean, you have to think about it. You've been dealing with this for 2 years, and they are really tiny, and they multiply fast, and they get into everything. So 1 month, it's like a drop in the bucket in terms of environment.
Yeah.
You know,
I was
aggressive. And 1 hour a day of ozoning is not really aggressive. It would be if you were spraying and then ozoning.
Well, today's the first day that I started using ammonia. Well, actually, I started using it. I've been using it for my laundry and bedding and whatnot, but I haven't been cleaning. So yesterday, I sprayed the entire apartment and cleaned the floors really good. There's just tons of them on the floor, tons.
Yep, I know, and that should be part of your, I mean, you should be using ammonia or an enzyme spray every day.
The enzymes
after you leave a room and then in addition to the pesticide and the ozone. So
Right.
the combination. I mean, have you read Richard's book or started the diet or done the laundry protocols or the bedding or any of that?
I do have Richard's book, and that's what prompted me to this question about the triple pesticides. But I've been doing laundry with the borax and ammonia, as I believe I read that you did. And the laundry...
There's more to laundry than just washing the clothes. It's what you do afterwards. It's how you take care of your bedding. It's how you take care of your mattresses and your pillows and how you store clothes when they're clean. I would really recommend contacting one of our coaches and getting detailed information about all that, because just doing one little thing is never going to work.
Well, it's important to first of all read the book in detail because it's very detailed.
Right.
So you want to do that. And with the triple pesticide is only to be used once every 21 days. So you don't use it more frequently than that.
Okay, and then would that be a suggestion or continue to ozone more and then spray?
Well, you're going to have to figure out what works. Everybody's different. So you experiment and you keep doing it. But as Robin said, set that ozone machine on 2 hours when you leave. And then by the time you get home, it's going to be aired out. If you have the electrostatic sprayer, sure. I mean, there's the Metaclean, that's, the enzymes. You can use any one of those and spray.
The enzymes I did that every day for 30 days, and it just did not seem to do anything. It didn't seem to kill these things. It seemed to...
Well, are they can you see them? Do they fly?
Yes, I do see that. I don't see them as much like on my bedding because, to be honest, the ozone has cleared up a lot of my bedding, but I strip my bed every morning and wash my bedding. And then it seems like the ozone machine has really helped my mattress, but I started spraying it with ammonia, and I just started doing that yesterday. But I used to see them in my bedding when I was using the enzymes, but I am having a problem with my clothing, and I sprayed my clothing with the enzymes, but it just didn't kill them. So I started using ammonia, last week actually, and spraying my clothing with ammonia.
Right. Well, when it comes to using the clean 'em up zymes or any enzymes, they only work with mites that have no eyes. So if they are mites that fly, they most likely have eyes. I suspect that it's not going to work with them.
I think they jump, because when I was spraying, I sprayed the walls and whatnot yesterday with ammonia, and I saw one jump on the floor. So I don't know what kind of mice they are, but they're hard as heck to get rid of, I can tell you.
Well, it's for you, it's a matter of experimenting with some of our suggestions and read the book in detail, and you'll find some other ideas that you may try. It's a challenge. I wish we could just snap our fingers and tell you exactly what to do. But again, remember, the triple pesticide is every 21 days. That's all. And then in between, you do ammonia, ozoning. There's the Benefect enzyme. I mean, the Benefect disinfectant. You might try that with the electrostatic sprayer. You just have to experiment until you get it.
Right.
Set traps out. You know, try setting some traps out. That might be a good idea too.
Yeah, the traps that the other lady suggested, I'm gonna definitely try that.
Sure. Okay. Do everything.
Yeah.
So go through the book, make a note of what we talked about here, make up some notes, and plan. Set up a plan. Okay.
Yeah, I've been keeping a log every day, and I'm working with Sherry. I've come a long way in just 30 days, so you can ask her with the diet. And I mean, I had lesions all over. I've been able to pretty much clean up my skin and most of all the lesions.
Wonderful.
That I've had with debriding. The diet, I'm still not quite there, but I'm going to see if possibly I can get on the Abilify or one of those. Right now, I'm at probably 80% of where I was 30 days ago.
Have you tried the Parasite Stop herbal formula?
I have not tried that.
Well, Abilify is good if you also are dealing with depression. Then your doctor, should have no problem prescribing it. But the other alternative is to use our Herbal Stop Parasite formula that I talked about in the earlier part of the program.
Right. Which, if my doctor will not prescribe that, I have an appointment April 15th, but then that will be my next move.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And I think that'll get me to 100%.
We'll cross our fingers. Okay. Thank you so much. Before we go on, it's important for me to note that the FDA requires me to inform everybody that before you accept any of my recommendations, that is, even before you start the King diet, that you're discuss them with your medical doctor to make sure they do not interfere with any health problems you're presently feeling. The AMA requires me to inform you that none of us are licensed physicians. Therefore, we are not, and we do not diagnose, treat, cure, mitigate, or prevent any disease. We're here to educate you how to use the diet, how to clean your skin, how to clean your environment, and how to build health and immune functioning through targeted supplements. Okay, who's next, Chris?
Lynn.
Hi, Lynn.
Oh. Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine. I was a little bit napping. I agree with everything you just said, Richard, and the diet is the most important part, and I don't know if she's not completely on it, so I don't know. All I know is if you don't get the diet working, you're not going to be in good shape. So that's all.
Yeah, it just continues. So did you have any questions, Lynn?
No.
Okay, great. Lynn is our buddy coach, and she'll give you her information later. Okay, who's next, Chris?
I think we're done for the day.
Oh, wow, that's quick. Okay.
Thank God.
If anybody does have a question, you can do *6 and ask it right now. Otherwise, we'll be concluding this portion of the program.
Lisa, you're there, Lisa?
Lisa?
Hi, yes, this is Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi. Actually, I have a very, very long story, but I'm going to just try to keep it brief. I'm actually in a psych unit right now for Magellan's. My grandfather actually worked at Monsanto, and I know that he died from Magellan's. My whole family has it, but I don't think it's talked about much how you can totally lose your mind. Now, I didn't, but my family have. My mother sold a Magellan-filled house, and that's killing me. Yeah. It's just the sickest disease. And I can't do the diet, obviously, because I'm impatient, but I'm going to take these suggestions when I leave. I ended up homeless. sleeping in my mold-infested car, used car I got, which I had a breathalyzer in for 2 years, even though right now I'm 10 years clean and sober. But it just destroyed my whole life. I've lost my family. I've lost everything I own. That's about all I have to say, because I don't want to just keep crying.
Well,
this is the sickest disease.
we pray for your early release and that you get in a situation where you can manage your food and make the diet work and be a part of our program and take advantage of everything that we have here, so you can get your life back as many others have. And my heart goes out to you. And
thank you. I am going to help these suggestions.
Thanks for being part of our program today. It's unfortunate.
Thank you.
Monsanto, the evilest, one of the most evil companies in the entire world, unleashing genetically modified organisms on us without laboratory experience. I mean, we are, because of Monsanto, every one of us are a lab rat. We are lab rats. We either are a lab rat that is being fed this crap that they produce with their genetically modified crap, whether it be salmon or corn or many of the foods that they modify, or we're a lab rat because we're trying to eat organic and we're trying to see if we can stay away from the effects of it. Either way, we're lab rats. And then to add insult to injury, they produce the glyphosate, Roundup. I mean, it is the best crap in the world to get rid of weeds. It sure is. But man, did they figure out what effect that would have on human health? No, they didn't. And now they're being sued. They have $50 billion in their coffers to give to people who have claims of cancer from using Roundup. But that's only, I mean, Dr. Zach Bush, in one of his videos, points out how the incidence of diabetes is going up, how the incidence of autism, heart disease, Lyme disease, and certainly I suspect Morgellons is part of it, dramatically has gone up in the last 20 years, 30 years. It's amazing. So
I have an autistic cousin, and I know he has Morgellons.
$50 billion is a drop in a bucket to this friggin' company, who has raked in maybe $1 trillion from us being their lab rats. And, you know, the FDA is supposed to protect us, but if you check it out, there are many articles that say that the FDA has a rotating door with the retired executives at Monsanto into their executive positions serving the FDA. So that's not from me. Check it out. Go Google and check out the FDA and Monsanto connections. So, okay, it's unfortunate, but that's what we're dealing with, and that's what makes our lives so complicated and problematic right now, is this organism called Morgellons. We don't know what it is. It's not fungal, unless it's a kind of fungus we've never seen before. It's not bacterial, unless it's a kind of bacteria we've never seen before. And it's not virus, unless it's a kind of virus we've never seen before. We don't know what it is. But we do know viral problems, intestinal parasites, all these become cofactors. And once Morgellons comes to play, life is no longer much fun. So that concludes this portion of the program. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Yes, hi.
I have a question.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Oh, I have a question about the Chitosanas Enzymes. Do they get rid of the parasites, the chitins of the existing parasites, or what?
No. No, kinase enzymes do not have any impact on Morgellons or Columbella or mites, except the fact that kinase does break up chitin, which is fungal. So if you have fungal cofactors that are contributing and making these organisms worse, then it helps. Kinase enzymes also are claimed to break down biofilm. And biofilm is a factor that most every Morgellons person is dealing with. Definitely everyone who has Lyme disease is dealing with biofilm. So the kinase enzymes are not here for Morgellons, except through which we destroy or get rid of the cofactors that make Morgellons more difficult to deal with. Does that make sense?
Yes, so should I get the parasite stop then to get rid of the parasite?
Well, again, a parasite stop formula is not going to get rid of them. It makes you less attractive for them. It makes it easier for the diet to work. So none of these medications, none of these supplements are to be used in place of the diet. The diet is critical, in my opinion. And the parasite stop formula can be helpful or instrumental in making the diet work, can make it easier to make the diet work. It can make it easier to go from stage 1 to stage 2, but they will not replace the diet. Now, if you complete the questionnaire and send in the questionnaire, I'll be glad to provide you an education as to what organisms you may be dealing with and detailed recommendations as to how to go about getting your life back.
Because what happened to my daughter, actually, it's kicked in her immune system to where it's attacking her body. So it's attacking her fingernails so they stop growing. And it's attacking the pigment in her skin now. And I don't know what to do for her.
Well, I don't know either, except that number one is to have her read the book and start the diet and, seek medical attention, the things that you're talking about, autoimmune disorders. And one of the first things that you do, if you go to PubMed, PUBMED.org, and you look up glutathione, one of the first things you do is you boost glutathione to reduce any kind of autoimmune issue or to help with any autoimmune issue. Unfortunately, we've not been able to get Max 1, which is a product that we have, standby product that we've used for years to boost glutathione for 2 months now. But we do have glutathione patches in the store, and a glutathione patch is something that it's just a patch. It's adhesive. It's like a Band-Aid. You stick it on your skin. You put it on your collarbone or above your navel, and you leave it on, and it boosts your glutathione by 500%. So we do have that. And you can also have your doctor administer glutathione shots, but he probably won't recognize that as something to do in the form of treating her, unfortunately.
No, so how about the NAC?
Well, the NAC is another way, and that's a very good question, another way of boosting glutathione. Only problem is I don't know how much of a boost you get from 2 capsules of NAC a day. I don't know if you get a boost of 30% or 200%, but I know from the patch you get a boost of 500%. And when we're talking about these kind of organisms, we're talking about getting as much boost as we possibly can. So NAC is certainly better than nothing, could be a lot better than nothing, but I don't know to what degree. And the important thing with NAC is to drink a lot of water, because you can have a tendency to form urea acid crystals, which are very painful, kidney stones. can be very painful.
I see. So there's nothing that would really help her other than, because about the fingernails, they stop growing.
Make the diet.
It's almost like
Make the diet work. Boost the glutathione as much as possible, and do everything we talked about in the book and what we talked about today in terms of disinfecting and cleaning, and making the diet work. The diet is going to be healthier for her anyway. I don't know what she's eating now.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining us today. It's an honor for me and Robin and Sherry and Mary to be here with all of you every Sunday to support you in getting your lives back.
The last caller needs to call the buddy coach. That's all.
Call the buddy coach. Okay, Robin, you have anything to add? I think we've done this before.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Mary?
I have a question.
Yes, your question and your name?
Back to the crystals, the menthol crystals.
Yes.
How much crystals in the little sachet bag that Robin was talking about per square area? Would it be like one? Let's say we have.
I'm using them in drawers, in cupboards, in small spaces. You can't really just put menthol crystal bags all over your room. It doesn't work.
Right. Okay. I have a closet that's fairly small. It's maybe like about 3 by 4.
So I would
square.
put a bag in every corner, but then I would still put everything in the closet in Ziploc bags or something, garment bags.
Yeah, I have everything in Ziploc bags plus plastic bins so I can see what's in them.
Can you hear me when I talk when you're talking over me?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I said I would put menthol crystals in the 4 corners, and then I would put everything in the closet in garment bags or Ziploc bags, and I would put menthol crystals in the garment bags. But if it's just smaller bags of clothes, I wouldn't put menthol crystals in the bags. If you have shelving, I would put menthol crystals on the shelves.
Now, how many, say these little bags would you put in a bag with clothes, and how many would you put in a drawer?
Well, let's say that in a bag of clothes, I'd put 1. If a drawer was 2 to 3 feet long, I'd probably put 2.
Okay. All right.
Then a teaspoon in a bag?
I do not measure. The bags are tiny little bags, and I fill them about halfway or a little less.
Halfway or a little less. Okay.
All right. Yeah, probably half a teaspoon, no more than that.
It's probably 2 tablespoons at least.
Really? Do they evaporate? How long?
No, they evaporate. So, and I have to refill them every few months.
Okay, so you can go by the evaporation.
Right.
Okay, another question. I started getting little black dots in my scalp, like little black mites and crazy black hair. Got to get back on the diet?
Yes.
I've been off the diet for
if you're still
3-4 months already.
If you're still dealing with your environment, you don't want to go off the diet ever. I mean, you can slowly progress to stage 3, but if you're still finding stuff, you want to stay in stage 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah. It's amazing that you were able to get off the diet with the organism still in your environment.
Right.
I know, but I sure did, and now I'm back.
Great. Well, okay, thank you. All right, that concludes this portion of the program.
Richard, can I say something?
Sure, Mary.
I wanted to sort of address the lady that called about her daughter, and she was talking about her daughter having immune issues. And autoimmune and immune are 2 different things. Autoimmune means that your body is turning on itself. Immune, which is what she said, is what I have, and that is when your immune system doesn't function properly. And what happens is, one of the things that happens is that you become allergic to everything because your immune system isn't working properly, so it signals your body that all these substances you're putting in it shouldn't be there, and it starts waging war and producing huge amount of histamines. And my point behind all this is that that's the reason why, for me, there are some things on the diet that I can't eat, because even though most people can eat it, my immune system recognizes it as a foreign substance that needs to go to war against it, and then it produces the histamines, and that attracts the mites and the columbella. So if her daughter does get on the diet and it is immune problems and not autoimmune, she may find that she has to drastically modify her food plan.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned that, because when I was listening to her, I thought she said autoimmune, and that's why I was talking about glutathione. And you're absolutely correct. Immune issues are totally different. And that's where sometimes doctors go to gamma globulin to boost immune. And Mary, you've been taking the garcellin, haven't you? How does that work for you?
I was taking it, and it was really helping, but it is it's got a rice in it.
Rice hull, yeah, rice, huh?
Yeah, and I can't do rice. I can't do rice bran. I can't do rice. I can't do the garcellin. But
oh my goodness!
Just for note, I am on immunoglobulin, IV immunoglobulin, and it's a 6-hour IV every month. And on top of that, I'm on like 6 different allergy meds.
Mm-hmm.
Just to try and be able to live in my own environment.
Okay, so if I revisit that, then it may be good for her daughter to start the garcellin to boost her immune response.
She's going to have to test every single food that's on the diet to see because there's going to be ones that are on the diet that she's not going to be able to handle.
Yeah. Well, really, Mary, thanks for being my ears, because I totally thought she said autoimmune. Okay. Thank you. Well, that concludes this portion of the program.
Welcome, everyone. It is Sunday, March 24th, 2024. This is the Morgellons call of the week, and we are in our stress management section. You know, stress has so many effects on our well-being and our physical body. It's just crazy. I had just looked up what can cause fingernails to stop growing. Stress. Stress can do that. So any kind of stress can do that. And, you know, when we are under tremendous stress, we make the bad decisions, we can't think clearly, we live in fight or flight panic mode, which just has us running around in circles, basically. And there are so many things that we can do to minimize stress in our lives, and one of them is deep breathing. And when you deep breathe, I mean, so many benefits. Your brain gets more oxygen, your blood pressure goes down, your heartbeat slows down, and when you combine it with affirmations or focusing on positive energy, you know, you're just going to feel better at the end of it. And it's not like this woo-woo thing, it's actual science. It works. So we're going to do a little bit of deep breathing today. We're going to breathe in. We're going to breathe from our diaphragm, which is in our belly. So when you breathe, your shoulders do not go up, but your belly goes out. And we're going to breathe in through our nose for 10 seconds. Or for 5 seconds. We're going to hold it for 5 seconds and then slowly release it for 10 seconds. And while we breathe, I want you to, you know, think I'll say some things that I think about, but you can, adjust this for what you need to think about. Okay, so sit up straight, shoulders down, chin down, and let your air out. And breathe in. And think about cleansing every corner in your house. And hold and filling it with peace. And then release. Breathe out, and as you breathe out, you're releasing peace, you're releasing joy into your environment. And breathe in, and know that you are going to be surrounded by good things. You're going to get through this, and hold that thought. Smile, because it changes everything when you smile. And breathe out. And just imagine, breathe in, if you're surrounded by mites and springtails and things you don't know what they are, imagine them fleeing, running as fast as they can out of your house. And breathe out. And your breath is filled with peace and joy and hope. Breathe in, and every corner of your environment is being filled with peace and joy and hope. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. And you know what else helps is listening to vibrational therapy or music. Let your mind relax. Imagine, breathe in. Imagine what your life is going to be like in 6 months when you're through this and you could coach other people. Hold. 2, 3, and breathe out. Breathe out stress. Breathe out fear. Breathe out anxiety. Breathe in peace, joy, hope, expectations of good things. Hold that thought and slowly release. Release the fear, release the anxiety, release the panic. One more time. Breathe in peace, joy, hope. And now breathe that back out into your environment. And take a nice big drink of water, which purifies your body from toxins or cystic tea.
Sister T. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Robin. The key is to remember to do the deep breathing. She mentioned vibrations. And the more you can do to shift your vibrations away from negativity and depression and being down, the better. And even when you do feel down, that's a good time to go to YouTube and search for healthy vibrations. Just type in healthy vibrations and just listen to the vibrations. Do your breathing then as you're doing that, and let the vibrations help make the shift for you. Now, over the weekend, most of the weekend, if anybody's been trying to order Lefiniran or Ditemperam or Fenben, the shop for Magellan site has been down. I just checked a minute ago, and it is back up. So I apologize. They apologize. They've had hacking and they've had other problems. It's frustrating, but it's good. It's good to go. So you can go there. And I love you all. Keep coming back. We're here to support you in getting your lives back. We know it's not an easy path. I mean, there's so much to be done, but we know you fought, many of you, for years, as much as 15 or 20 years. And you've been doing all this disinfecting, and you've been doing all the things you can do to clean your skin, and just lucky to keep your head above water and you slowly go downhill. So we know it's a task. So making the diet work is just one more thing that is going to make all the work that you've been doing. And as I went through the instructions in part 1 of the program and the details, maybe you've missed some things, and by you putting it all together, you'll be soon one of our coaches. And we certainly could use more coaches. If anybody, to be a coach, the requirement is that you have made the diet work. Not that you're at the point in stage 3 where you can eat anything that you want, but that you've made the diet work and you know the cause and effect. Also, to know how to use disinfection techniques and the different things to use to disinfect that we talked about earlier in part 1 of the program. Also, how to clean your skin, bathing with the Nature's Gift and our products, and some knowledge or good knowledge of the products that we have, the skin lotions, the MSM gel, and everything else that we have in the store. And also a knowledge of how to build health and immune functioning through the supplements that we have, so that you can lead people back to health. Because people who do get their lives back, and there are so many, hundreds have gotten their lives back, all tell me they are healthier now after they've gotten their lives back than they were when they were first infected by these organisms. So love you all. Keep coming back. That concludes this portion.